fatigue, insomnia, muscle cramps, and you think just a little more magnesium will fix it? I meet so many people like you. They come into my clinic holding a bottle of supplements and say, "Doctor, I just want to feel better, just a little less tired." But then only a few weeks later, they return with a different story. Their heartbeat has slowed. They feel dizzy all the time, and their memory seems to be covered in a thin fog. I want you to picture this. Magnesium is like the electricity that powers your body. In the right amount, everything runs smoothly. But when you overdo it, that current can short-circuit the entire system. After the age of 60, our bodies no longer absorb and eliminate minerals as efficiently as before. A small dose for a young person can sometimes be an overdose for us. Today, I'm going to show you 8 hidden dangers of magnesium supplements, things most people have never heard of. And I want you to stay until the end of this video because understanding this small mineral could help you sleep deeper, live healthier, and feel more at peace each day. Danger. Number 1. The wrong type causes digestive distress. There's something most people don't realize. Those symptoms of stomach pain, diarrhea, bloating, they blame on food can sometimes come directly from the magnesium supplement they take every day. You see, not all forms of magnesium are the same. Some are absorbed gently by the body, while others almost pass straight through your intestines. And when that happens, your body reacts in a very unpleasant way. Imagine sprinkling a little salt on a slice of cucumber. Within minutes, the water begins to draw out, and the surface turns wet. Magnesium oxide, the cheapest and most common form, acts the same way in your gut. When your body can't absorb it, the excess magnesium stays in the intestines, pulling water from the intestinal walls and leaving everything inside soggy and slippery. The result? You start feeling cramps, your stomach rumbles constantly, and within hours you're rushing to the bathroom. Many people think they're detoxing or cleansing their system, but in reality, they're overstimulating the intestines and losing both minerals and fluids. That's why the type of magnesium you choose is just as important as the amount you take. If you want a calm stomach and proper absorption, look for gentler forms like glycinate, citrate, or lactate. They're designed to go straight into your bloodstream without causing a storm in your gut. You see, sometimes what makes us most uncomfortable isn't the magnesium itself, but the way we choose it. Danger number 2. A slow heart. Brakes pressed too hard. After hearing my explanation about digestion, many people ask, "What about the heart, doctor? I heard that low magnesium makes the heart beat irregularly." That's true, but only half true. Let me tell you about Bob, a 68-year-old man who cared deeply about his health. He started taking magnesium to ease leg cramps and sleep better, but one morning, when he got out of bed, he felt so dizzy he had to hold on to the wall. When we checked his pulse, it was barely above 40 beats per minute. Bob asked in surprise, "How could that happen, doctor?" I thought magnesium was good for the heart. And I told him something I want you to understand today. Magnesium and your heart work like two pedals. Calcium is the gas, magnesium is the brake. When your heart beats, calcium triggers the muscle to contract, while magnesium allows it to relax between beats. The two are as inseparable as breathing in and out. Too little of either, and the rhythm falls apart. But if you take too much magnesium, it's like slamming the brake while speeding down the highway. Your heart rate slows, sometimes to dangerous levels. I've seen many people like Bob who double their dose when their heartbeat feels off, not realizing they're actually tiring their heart even more. For younger people, the body can often rebalance itself, but after 60, the cardiovascular system isn't as adaptable. A tiny misstep can knock the heart out of rhythm. So if you're taking magnesium and notice your heart slowing, dizziness, or unusual fatigue, don't assume it's just age. It might be the softest warning your heart is trying to send. Before it speaks louder, that might be the gentlest signal your heart is sending you. Before it speaks louder. Danger number 3, sudden drop in blood pressure. Perhaps one of the most common misconceptions about magnesium is believing that the more you take, the better it is for your blood pressure. I want you to meet Grandpa Joe, a 72-year-old man, proud that he'd managed to keep his blood pressure stable for years without strong medication. One morning, he decided to double his magnesium dose, thinking it would help dilate his blood vessels and lower his pressure naturally. But just minutes after standing up from his chair, he felt dizzy. His hands trembled, and he nearly fell if not for grabbing the edge of the table. When we checked, his blood pressure had dropped to a dangerous level. Magnesium does help relax blood vessels, but when taken in excess, it makes the smooth muscles in the vessel walls relax too much, like a stretched rubber band that no longer snaps back. In older adults, those vessels are already weaker and less elastic over time, so even a small excess can cause a sudden, sharp drop in pressure. And when blood doesn't reach the brain fast enough, the first thing you feel isn't relaxation, but dizziness, blurred vision, and sometimes a fall you never saw coming. I often tell my patients, magnesium can be a friend to your heart, but if you take too much, it leaves your blood not knowing where to go. So if you're taking magnesium and notice you feel lightheaded when standing up, don't ignore that signal. It's not just age. It may be the softest warning from your circulatory system. Danger number 4, brain fog, loss of focus. One of the most common reasons older adults turn to magnesium is to relax, reduce stress, and improve sleep. But sometimes, the calm they feel is actually a sign of slowing down inside. I remember a woman named Linda, 67 years old. She told me in a soft voice, "I don't feel anxious anymore, doctor. But lately, I've been so forgetful. This morning, I made a cup of tea, then just stood there watching it cool, forgetting what I was about to do." Linda didn't realize that the same thing helping her sleep better was also slowing her reflexes and memory. Too much magnesium in her blood. You see, magnesium soothes the nervous system. In moderation, it calms the mind. But when it exceeds the limit, it acts like a brake pressed on the brain. Thoughts blur, reactions slow, and memories drift away like smoke. Many mistake this for aging or fear they're developing dementia, but often it's just the result of taking magnesium in the wrong dose, especially when combined with sedatives, sleep aids, or alcohol. I often tell my patients, your mind is like a piano. Press the keys gently, and the melody is soft and beautiful. Hold them too long, and the tune becomes heavy, sleepy, and loses its rhythm. Magnesium works the same way. It can guide you into peaceful sleep or slowly dim your mind if you don't learn to listen to your body. Danger number 5, silent drug interactions. After Linda's story, you can probably see why I always emphasize this. The human body never works alone. Every pill or supplement you take can meet, interact, or even compete for space inside you. Magnesium is no exception. It's not just a simple mineral. Once in your stomach, it can cling to certain medications, preventing them from being properly absorbed. I've seen many thyroid patients who take their medication diligently every morning, yet their test results still show low hormone levels. When I asked further, I found they were taking their thyroid pills along with magnesium. The two stick together like magnets, and instead of entering the bloodstream, they pass straight out of the body. The same thing happens with antibiotics, iron, and zinc. If you take magnesium at the same time, it creates a kind of traffic jam in your intestines, blocking other nutrients and medications from being properly absorbed. And the dangerous part is, you won't feel anything right away. No pain, no fatigue, no obvious symptoms. Only after a few weeks you might start to wonder, why am I still tired? Why isn't my medication working? The answer lies in timing. Sometimes simply taking magnesium 2 to 3 hours apart from other medications is enough to prevent all those silent interactions. I always tell my patients, it's not the medicine that harms your body. It's letting them meet at the wrong time. Danger number 6, respiratory weakness, shallow breathing. When I talk about silent interactions, there's another reaction that's just as quiet, but far more dangerous. It's how magnesium affects the neuromuscular system, especially the muscles that control breathing. You see, every breath you take is powered by hundreds of tiny electrical signals traveling from your brain to your diaphragm, then spreading to the muscles around your chest. Magnesium helps those muscles relax after each breath, but when the magnesium level in your blood gets too high, it slows those electrical signals, making your muscles weaker and your breaths shallower without you realizing it. At first, you might just feel a little tired climbing stairs or need to pause midway to take a deeper breath. But for people with heart, lung, or nerve conditions, that slowing down can become a silent crisis. I've met patients who thought they were just exhausted from poor sleep, when in fact, their bodies were struggling to breathe through the thick fog of excess magnesium. They had no idea that even an extra 200 milligrams could be enough to disrupt nerve transmission. And once that signal falters, the whole body slows down. I always tell them, magnesium is the mineral of relaxation. But if you don't stop at the right time, it can make even your breath come to a stop. Danger number 7, confusion, slowed reflexes, coma. When your breathing begins to slow, the brain follows in its own quiet way. I've seen many patients walk into my clinic with dull eyes, slow speech, and delayed responses to simple questions, not because they didn't understand, but because their brains were moving through fog. At normal levels, magnesium soothes the nervous system, but when it crosses the threshold, it begins to suppress the central nervous system, slowing every signal between the brain and body. At first, you might just notice slower reflexes, a heavy step, or moments of forgetting what you were doing. But as magnesium continues to build up in the blood, the body drifts into a state of sleeping while awake. That's why in severe toxicity, patients can slip into a coma without any clear warning signs. It sounds frightening, I know, but what I want you to remember isn't fear. It's that every reaction begins with small signs, slower reflexes, heavier speech, unusually deep sleep. Your body always gives gentle warnings before things become serious. The question is, are we listening? Danger number 8, weak kidneys, toxin, build up. I once had a special patient, a retired engineer, 74 years old, a man who lived with precision and cared deeply about his health. He recorded every pill, every dosage, every hour he took his magnesium. He told me, "I do everything by the book, doctor. My body is like a machine. As long as I maintain it, it runs fine. But the human body is not a machine, and overmaintenance can sometimes be the very thing that slows it down." When he came to see me, his skin was pale, his pulse was weak, and his test results showed magnesium levels nearly twice the normal range. Not because he had taken too much, but because his kidneys were no longer filtering as they once did. After age 60, kidney function declines by an average of 30 to 40%, meaning the body clears magnesium more slowly, leaving the excess quietly accumulating in the blood, day by day, week by week, until it becomes a burden on the heart, lungs, and even the brain. I still remember our last conversation. He looked at me and said, "I thought I was helping my body, doctor, but I ended up wearing it out." That sentence stayed with me for a long time because, in truth, many of us are just like him, always trying to do the best for our health, but forgetting that after 60, our bodies need to be listened to more than controlled. If you have kidney problems or are taking diuretics, heart medications, or blood pressure drugs, magnesium is no longer the gentle friend it once was. It can become a burden your kidneys can't lift in time. After that engineer's story, I want to tell you about the groups for whom magnesium can bring more risk than benefit. First, those with chronic kidney disease or on dialysis. When the kidneys can't filter properly, every small magnesium tablet is like pouring another cup of water into a glass that's already full. Second, those taking heart, blood pressure, or thyroid medications. Magnesium can alter how your body absorbs those drugs, making their effects less predictable than you think. Then there are those with low blood pressure, slow heart rate, or frequent dizziness. For them, even a slight dose increase can cause pressure to drop sharply or slow the heart to a dangerous rhythm. And finally, people taking multiple supplements at once. You might not realize how many products already contain magnesium. Multivitamins, calcium tablets, or even electrolyte powders. Added together, that total amount can quietly exceed safe limits without you knowing it. I always remind my patients of one simple truth. Not everyone needs extra magnesium. After 60, your body doesn't need more. It needs what's right. By now you might be wondering, so if I still want to take magnesium, how can I do it safely? I understand that feeling. You don't want to ignore an essential mineral, but you also don't want to risk your health through small mistakes. First, start by listening to your own body. If you often feel tired, tense, sleepless, or have muscle cramps, don't rush to buy the first supplement you find online. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist. Sometimes a small change in diet and routine is enough to restore balance naturally. If you truly need supplementation, choose forms of magnesium that are gentle and easily absorbed, like glycinate, citrate, or lactate. They enter the bloodstream efficiently without upsetting your stomach, and most importantly, never take magnesium at the same time as heart, thyroid, or antibiotic medications. Separate them by at least 2 to 3 hours to ensure proper absorption. Finally, remember this. Magnesium is only good when used correctly. The right dose, the right timing, for the right body. After 60, your body doesn't need more new things. It just needs you to treat it with understanding and kindness every day. In the end, I want you to remember one simple truth. Magnesium is neither an enemy nor a miracle. It's a friend. And like any good relationship, you must understand each other to live in harmony. If you've ever experienced side effects while taking magnesium, share your story in the comments below, because your experience might help someone else avoid the same mistake. And if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss my next conversation about how to live healthy, joyful, and mentally sharp after 60. I'm Dr. William, and I'll see you in the next video on Elevate Daily Health.